This interview is the personal story of Sergeant Nathaniel Bryan, independently produced and not affiliated with any political party, organization, or campaign. Nathaniel Bryan is not endorsing any candidate, political party, or organization. He simply wants the citizens of Pitt County to be aware of the hostile environment and circumstances affecting the deputies at the Pitt County Sheriff's Department. The timing and release of this interview and the ongoing election are purely coincidental. Mr. Bryan would have released this information sooner, but he was concerned that he would be the subject of retaliation in the workplace. This interview has been released at this time, immediately upon Sergeant Nathaniel Bryan securing employment outside of the Pitt County Sheriff's Department.
So glad I've had an opportunity to meet you and be able to, in the circumstances, get to introduce you to the folks that are going to be watching this video. I think your story and what you've been through is really important for people to hear. Unfortunately, people wearing the badge sometimes lock all this stuff inside, and they don't ever want to talk about this stuff and share with the folks that are kind of on the outside, and we sometimes don't get a view of your life and things you deal with on a regular basis. And as a civilian, I hate that, because you guys get to carry that burden for us, and for that, thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Everybody's been watching what's happening with with your situation. Obviously, we've got just recently Sergeant Nathaniel Bryan. You've released this audio that's been on social media recently. It was also in the news. So a lot of people have heard about this. It was an audio recording of Sheriff Paula Dance using some not so nice language that people were offended by, and obviously being very dismissive of the deputies there at the Pitt County Sheriff's Department, and that's why we're here today. But I want to introduce you to the people on this video so that they'll get to hear your voice and hear your side of things. And thank you for doing that. I think this is really important.
Thanks for having me.
You have a lot of people with the Sheriff's Department that might be fairly new, but you're obviously not new to law enforcement. How long have you been in law enforcement?
No, sir. I started working with Sheriff's Office since 2008.
So that's 14 years?
Yes, sir. 14 years.
Okay. Gosh, that's you've been there for quite a while. So
yes,
what all have you done there, in your time with Pitt County Sheriff's Department?
I spent somewhere around 6 years. I was still on patrol, and after that I was assigned to street crime unit. Back then, we formed it at 3 people and a lieutenant. Then after that, I moved to narcotic unit. And I stayed there a good amount of time. Then I got promoted to the sergeant over a special operation, which is street crime unit and narcotic unit. And then up until recently, we moved again, and I'm sergeant over street crime unit, which is gang unit. Yes, sir.
So you had quite a bit of experience with the Sheriff's Department then. How many I can't imagine how many hours of training you must have.
I have over 2,000 hours of training.
Wow. I understand that there's been quite a few deputies, very experienced deputies, that have left the Sheriff's Department over the last few years, and obviously you being one of them. And I can tell you as a citizen, I take that as a personal loss. So talking about the audio recording that you released. So what was going on that day? Where were you that day when this happened?
On that day, July 29, that was Friday, I was off. I got called from second in command for behalf of first in command for the sheriff, and called me, asked me to come into her office because she wanted to see me.
So you were called in on your office. So you weren't at work. This was actually your day off that you got called.
That's correct.
That's got to be pretty uncomfortable. What would that kind of make you? What were you thinking? Because you said it was the second in command called you on behalf of the sheriff. That's a pretty big deal, right?
That's correct. Yes, sir. And I've been told that first in command calls previous night and passed down the information to me that I need to come in the office.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, I imagine that probably was a little uncomfortable getting a call like that to come in on your day off. That sounds like it would probably. Was that kind of alarming?
Yes, sir. It is. It is. Because what I seen, what happened to the other deputies, and that people had left because on their own will or got fired, or some never got a chance to defend themselves for their rights.
So,
They never got a chance to say their words, not even say the words.
which, by the way, I'm going to ask you a whole lot of hard questions because I think
Go
it's
ahead.
really important that
Yes,
that
sir.
I'm going to ask you the questions that everybody else is asking because I mean I think you already have figured out. There's a lot of people who are very skeptical. They haven't met you. They don't know anything about you. And then you have Paula Dance, who's a public figure that's in the news, and she's the sheriff. There she is out there all the time. People know who she is, and they have no idea who you are.
Yes, sir.
And so I think it's really important for them to understand this. Why did you actually? Some people are actually offended by the fact that you recorded this conversation with Paula Dance. Some people say that it's. Some people say, "Oh, it's just very inappropriate," and some people honestly have said that it's illegal. I think it's really important to address that because it's actually not illegal, is it?
It is legal. Yes, sir.
So it is legal
It
to.
is legal.
So how does that work?
North Carolina State one party concerned, and yeah, that's illegal. Yes, sir. And some may say, how they say things. I was being nasty, or it's not about that. It's about I have to have something to cover myself because I'm just a deputy and she is the sheriff.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me stop you right there. Are you saying that you're just a deputy compared to who she is, public figure Paula Dance, the sheriff? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
I just want to make sure that I just got to tell you, please don't ever say I'm just a deputy.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So, why I recorded it? If I say something, if she says something, we say two different stories. And if you don't know me or if you don't know her, who would you believe? Would you believe the sheriff or would you believe Joe Blow, just a deputy guy? I have to have some kind of evidence to live on, and I have to prove myself because it happened to the people before. So, yes, I hated it when I was doing. I hated it. That's dumb. Yeah, I hated it. I don't know how to, say, but I have no other choice. Because what I experienced, what I seen, what happened to other people before.
So there's a track record of this kind of behavior in the department from the leadership then?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, a lot of people want to know why you were motivated to release the video or to release the audio rather. I've seen a lot of people that, like on social media, they're saying, well, he's kind of a sissy. He's a little bit, he needs to toughen up. I mean, it's just some dirty words and foul language. I mean, give me a break. I mean, is it really so bad that, she used some foul language at you? I mean,
As a matter of fact, yes, sir. As a law enforcement officer, all of us are all police and law enforcement, deputy sheriffs, state trooper, and any law enforcement field. I mean, it's bad enough to dealing with people on the street, and then we come to the office, and we don't expect the same language from our superiors, especially foul language. I don't matter. It's my coworker. They don't matter.
now what do you? Okay, so what would make you say that you don't matter? Is there something in? I mean, I've heard the audio, and I'm kind of assuming that you're referring to the audio.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what was it she said in the audio that why would you feel that way?
It's offended. It offends me, and even more when she mentioned about dismiss my co-workers. she doesn't care. They can leave. You know.
You know, that's interesting because actually I thought this was kind of because you were upset that she was telling you that or talking about how you. So this is not really as much about you as it is about your coworkers.
Us. Yes, sir. Us.
Is that why you're standing up and speaking out because of your coworkers?
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's not just me, not just people on my unit. There's a lot of people on the sheriff's office that they couldn't speak for themselves, and they just have to move on because they invested too much time. People leave from this agency. Generally, people from outside. Oh, yeah, he just doesn't like it here. He's just gonna go work over there somewhere. But we know that we losing a lot. I left. I was.
So you've left now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I left.
So you're another. How many? You have any idea how many deputies have left? I know it sounds like at least 10 just to Craven County. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And maybe what 17? That was last I heard it was 17 as of last week.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's been going on for years.
Yeah.
So
Has it gotten worse? But has it gotten worse under Paula Dance's administration?
Yes, sir. It's correct.
Okay. All right. So you've been here out with other sheriffs then over the last 14 years,
yes,
obviously.
Sir. She is my third sheriff I served.
Okay. So let me ask you this. A lot of people would say, obviously, and I've actually read this. I mean, it's amazing how people are on social media. I mean, people say stuff on social media they'd never say to your face. A lot of people think that you probably have some kind of a personal axe to grind with Paula Dance, and that Sheriff Dance must have done something to you personally. Have you been demoted at some point?
No, sir.
Have you been disciplined at some point? I mean, have you been recently disciplined for anything?
No, sir.
Have you been has she put you in a different department and taken you out of street crime and put you on patrol or anything?
No, sir.
So you don't really have a personal axe to grind as far as there's something specific that she's done to you.
That's correct.
Huh. Okay. A lot of people would be really surprised. I mean, that's kind of because I honestly, and I have to tell you, before I met you, I was skeptical just like everybody else. I kind of figured that there had to be some kind of a personal thing that had happened to you. But, as I've talked to you, it's pretty obvious that you're more motivated by the way she's treated your coworkers than even more so than how you've been treated.
Yes, sir.
That says a lot. That really says a lot. There's something else that I think has got to be talked about, and I know this is going to be this is going to be a tough one. There are a lot of how do you feel? How does it make you feel when people say that you're just being a useful tool for a bunch of racist people who want to get rid of a black sheriff? You do realize people are saying that, right?
I heard it. Yes, sir.
You've heard people say
Yes,
that.
sir.
So I mean, how do you? I think I think it's interesting that a lot of people don't know your background. How do you feel about that? I mean, because a lot of people would be really surprised at your background, and this whole racial situation for you is a little different than most people.
Yes, sir. That's incorrect because I was born in overseas. The country name called Burma used to be Burma. Changed the name to Myanmar now, and you all can Google it. And what's going on over there? People are getting killed for it just to protest, anti-government,
Now, what do you mean by this? So people are getting killed by the government for?
That's correct. Yes, sir. I don't make it up. This
So people are being
facts.
So people are being executed for speaking out to people who are in the government that are abusing their authority.
Yes, sir. That's where I came from. And
that kind of makes a lot of sense under the circumstances. That.
Yes. Sir.
Okay, I didn't realize that. So it does make a lot of sense that you're back. You're coming from a country where people are being oppressed by the people who have power, and they're abusing their authority, and that's the situation you find yourself in right now.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Makes a lot of sense.
And as soon as I got my permanent resident status, um, even I came here by legal, I had to wait for immigration to issue me that card. Then I joined the army, and
The U.S. Army.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks. I was in the army, and that was after 9/11, back in 2003. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to go shoot the bad guy. So I had my wish. I had 2 combat tours. 03 to 04, I was in Afghanistan, and 05 to 06, I was in Iraq, and I got out and pursued law enforcement career. And here I am, after 14 years. I thought God has a plan for all of us, and we knew that. And I thought my life is set. This is it. This is where I'm going to stay, and this is where I'm going to retire. And it's all changed. All changed.
What do you, when you say all change? You obviously having to give something up to. I mean, after 14 years, what do you? I mean, I mean, obviously, I don't want to get into financials, but I mean, you got to be suffering some kind of a penalty for leaving the sheriff's department after 14 years.
Yes, sir. That is correct. Roughly about $15,000 cut. And not just that. People like me had experience and stayed with the agency for long enough. We all lock into what they call is grandfather plan, meaning once we retire, the county government will pay for our health insurance, and we losing that part. None of us wants to get sick. You're getting old, sick, and die, but the chances are that's what's going to happen.
So you're giving up financially, and you're losing your health benefits
Yes,
with the
sir.
with the county. Ah, boy. Now, another thing. There's so many things that we, that have been brought up that we got to kind of. It's crazy that we got to handle all this stuff, but. You know that this is pretty convenient timing, that this audio recording was released right during the middle of an election. I mean, have you thought about that? I mean, there are a lot of people that think this is just a nasty election trick. But as far as the timing, I mean, why did you pick now to release the recording?
Well, I have a newborn baby now, sir. And I have to make sure I have my job lined up, everything set before I leave from this agency. As a matter of fact, Chef Dance picked a time when she called me in the office. I did it.
So once this conversation happened, you wanted. I guess it sounds like you would have loved to release the video, the audio at that time, but so you couldn't release it because you didn't have anywhere to go.
That's correct.
And your baby's been born now, right?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Now, how long have you been a Republican?
I'm not Republican, sir. I'm independent.
You know that's everybody thinks you must be a Republican hit person, right?
Yes, sir. I mean, politics is politics, and I have nothing to do with it. This is not about politics. This is about doing the right thing, and I want speaking for my partners and the people that they couldn't speak up for themselves, and I want people to see who she really is. What she used, the language she used in that room. If I use it, I'll be in big trouble. She violated the sheriff office policy and the county policy.
But by using the language that she used.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't even realize that. So, okay. So if you'd have used the same language to one of your subordinates, then you would have been in violation of a department policy, and you would have suffered some consequences from it.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Seems like a double standard.
That's correct.
So now okay. I think there's so many things that I hope we get everything. I'm trying to ask you questions that I know that other people are asking, because there's so many people that are just skeptical of what's going on, and I think that's understandable. I mean, it's to be expected. I think you probably expected that anyway.
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, you did say that you expected it, because like you said, and I hope you don't ever say this again. When you said I'm just a deputy, and I can tell you, nobody watching this video is going to think you were just a deputy. I understand what you're saying, but when a deputy steps out, basically of the shadows, for you especially, because I mean you were on you were on a task force that was not out front and in the public. So here you got Paula Dance that's on the news and running a political campaign, and everybody knows who she is. So I think it's probably pretty understandable that you would feel the way you did. But one of the things that people want to ask is why how long is the audio? Because the audio is a lot longer, from what I understand. Because I know that Sheriff Dance said on the news that there was a longer video, or audio rather, that's much longer than what you released. So she wants you to release the whole thing. But so why didn't you release the entire audio?
If I release it, I would be violating our policy. I live by policy, and I'm a true believer that I'm a true soldier. If you give me the guideline, I don't have to like it. I will live with it. And
No.
I will not break the policy.
So what policy are you talking about?
It's about the personal information, the individual's name, that kind of stuff. I cannot release it.
Okay, so are you saying that there's some other stuff in the audio that
That's correct.
because of policy there are portions of the audio that you can't release.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. So is that because, and you mentioned there's some other deputies
Yes, sir.
mentioned in the audio?
Yes, sir. Unless Sheriff Paula Dance say that I'm giving you an order to release. There's no consequences. I will be more than happy to release it, and along with what the whole entire audio recording.
Okay. So I've got the parts. There are some small parts of the audio that you have shared with me that I can place along with this interview, and we're gonna play that so that people will be able to hear it.
I'm not a hero by any means. I have nothing to gain, everything to lose. I'm already losing it just to walk away from the sheriff's office. It doesn't matter where I go, I will not get the coverage for health insurance and after my retirement, and not just pay cut. But I'm doing this because people have left. She was saying in our conversation, people have left. She didn't care. She did not care. Those people left. They are all good deputies. But they never got a chance because it's nothing got to do with job performance. They left because of these hostile working environment, and most of them left because of they had no other choices except to leave. As you can see, I mean, these are the facts. People left to Craven County. Two detectives working on the gang unit. They just, this year they just got an award from gang conference. That's a big loss. I mean, people can say whatever they want. Oh yeah, these people are junk. They didn't like it. They can leave. They got into trouble. Look at it now, sir. Craven County is successful because of what we lost from the sheriff office, Pitt County. These are fact. I just hope that people see who she really is, know what's going on in this agency, and this is not the end. I am not the end, and me and along with other detective leaving, we are not the end. There's more coming, and I'm not just saying it. There's more coming. We want to lose more people, and I don't know where it's going to lead. So God bless us. Yes, sir.
The audio you're about to hear was recorded by Sergeant Nathaniel Bryan. The deleted portions of the conversation were deleted because Sheriff Dance was speaking about a personnel matter related to another Pitt County Sheriff's Department employee. A timeline has been added to provide a record of the portions deleted from the original audio.
I believed in you and your experience in doing what you do. But what I am not going to tolerate, and it's even information that you're questioning the survivability of my re-election. That's neither here or there. Now, you know that I will release you if you are pushing the other guy. There ain't no question about that. Your services will no longer be needed. I want to be clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I don't want you to walk out of here thinking everything hunky-dory.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm putting you on notice.
Yes, ma'am.
I expect you to do what I hired you to do. Go over there, be the supervisor over those guys, not let them guys supervise you. Don't get caught up in this. Don't do it.
Yes,
Don't get caught up in this election. Because I can guarantee you I'm going to be here. I can't guarantee you will if you get caught up in this election. I feel like if there's an issue with the way that I'm leading, there's the door. Anybody can feel free to leave. This stuff with all the drug, all the street crime guys, they're leaving. Well, fuck, I don't give a shit. Let them go. Let them go. I don't care. I'll replace them with quickness. There's 15 of them sitting over there waiting to get over in that unit right now. So if people won't leave, let them go. That's no problem with me. Because you know what we're going to do? We're going to still keep on moving forward every day. We're going to replace and restart and keep moving. So all this bullshit about people leaving, people have left. But did it stop me? Did it stop this agency? No, and it's never going to stop it. Because everybody's replaceable, to include me in this election. To include me in this election. I don't feel that's going to happen, but still, it might. Give me the respect that I give you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I'm asking. You're on notice. You know. It's not like you've been bombarded or attacked and you just didn't know this was coming. But I want you to be clear that I'm not going to tolerate it. And that, if you want to carry a message, you carry that message. Because I don't give a damn if all of them leave. I will replace them and keep moving. It's not going to stop no show. That's what I needed. I appreciate you coming in.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You want me to close, Sheriff?
Yes, please.